Welcome, I hope you're well. My name is John Thorne and I spent the last 13 years researching online collaboration, and I'd just like to take a few minutes to share with you what I learned. 13 years ago, when I first started doing the research, the primarily focus was on the relationship between the organisation and its people. The idea was to use online collaboration to make this relationship between these two parties more two-way, more contextual and more immediate. What we discovered over the years was this relationship essentially moved on a stage to a situation where we had people wanting to communicate and connect to other people in similar situations to them. What they also wanted to do is stay connected to the organisation. So this essentially created a triangular relationship within organisations, which is obviously different to the one-to-one relationship we first started basing our research on. A classic example of this triangular relationship is Google. Here it attracts people who care passionately about what it is they want to do. And they're drawn to the organisation as well. So they're connected to the organisation of Google, but they're also connected to each other. And this quite clearly became the new model for high performance in organisations. So my research into the application of social websites, online collaboration, started focusing on what value it could add to this triangular relationship. And what it ended up discovering, essentially, was that the use of social websites increased the number of people able to connect to each other and to share with each other to enhance the power and the benefits of this connection, people-to-people connection. It had the potential, and I stress potential because we later discovered a big but to that. So it has the potential for people to uplift each other, to build each other's self-esteem by sharing with each other, by sharing more with each other, with more people. So effectively, it's a numbers game. It allows more people to connect to more people to share more. Now, it just so happens that because it's being done on a social website, organisations can pull back from that data, pull back from those conversations until they become what I call conversational data. So they've come out of context of individual to individual and they're now words. So what the organisation can do is analyse the patterns within the words to look for common barriers stopping their people from performing, or ways of coming up with new ideas to help improve the performance of its people. So essentially the main role of social websites for organisations is the creation of a good conversational database from its people sharing ideas with each other. Now there is a big but to this, and it is big, but I'll explain that in the next sequence. The but, and admittedly it's quite a big but, that the research uncovered and solved, is that when people share face to face, they have natural checks and balances to stop it getting out of hand, to stop it becoming arguments. Now online, if we get people to share with each other online, there are no checks and balances. So in other words, there's nothing stopping it from becoming an argument, which runs the risk of weakening this link, not strengthening it. On top of that, from the organisational point of view, having conversational data based on arguing just helps the organisation understand how people are different. And this is of much lower value than data that allows them to find out what people have in common, because that's better information to defining new ways of working. So, creating this triangle so that it's powerful on all sides seems to hang on the ability of people to be able to connect online and share online in a way in which takes into account the fact that there are no checks and balances. So they can't share as though they were face to face. They have to share in a way in which takes into account there's no checks and balances. So the research moved on to find a way of sharing and teaching people so that they can share in an online world with no checks and balances.